I did a record too. I did a record called Celebrity.
Whoa! You got a record? Wait.
I got a rap record out called Celebrity Funk.
Celebrity Funk. Okay, because you've been around some groups now. I gotta hear this now.
Yeah.
Celebrity Funk.
Now, y'all, producer, director, technical director, won't you get on down with Celebrity Funk? I'm Howard Cosell. I talk so bright. If you heard what I said, then yell all right. Remarkable, sensational, gratifying, except in 9. We have a lot of superstar guests, but first of all, here's the boxing best. He had the fastest hands. I'm sure you'll agree. Everyone calls him Muhammad Ali. Oh, Muhammad Ali, I'm Vicious Lee.
Oh.
Hey, welcome to KROSS BARZ, the podcast where we discuss interesting topics with alternative perspective. I'm your co-host, Big O. Have with me.
Hey, Tanae is back in the building one more time with our special guest, Mr. Chris Thomas himself, the mayor, the man, the comedian, the impressionist. Give it up for Mr. Chris Thomas, y'all. Give it up, give it up, give it up.
Now we have the mayor. Absolutely. So now, where you been? That's what I want to know. Where you been? You know, you just dropped off the face of the earth, and I was like, wait a minute, man. And I'm like, I thought you was like, all right, did one of those things from, what was it called? Def Comedy Jam, where it's like, all right, he's doing movies now. He jumped out of here, and now he's doing movies. And I was like, yo, where'd my man go? The mayor. And they started doing some weird stuff at BET. They probably putting Sita on. Then he had Big Tigger. He didn't know if he wanted to be a rapper or not. You know, so I was like, wait a minute, I always loved you because you gave more of a professional feel to the interviews, but at the same time, you know, you kind of like, look, I don't rap, you know, I host a show.
Right.
And I wanted to know, like, what happened right after, Rap City?
After Rap City, let's get this straight, I stepped down from Rap City.
Okay.
I actually didn't want to do it anymore. Yeah, I had toured with the rappers for so many years before I even hosted Rap City. Mm-hmm. So I decided that Prince DeJour, he was a hip hop informer.
Correct.
So at that time, we weren't under a big contract with BET. We were getting paid per episode.
Okay.
So he had just had a baby, and I was like, man, I'm just going on the road. My comedy career was doing very, very well. So I just left. I just, went on to something else. I had offers to be on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. It was going to give me some guest appearance, Jamie Foxx show. Then I was asked by Bernie Mac to play his brother on the Bernie Mac show. But I never wanted to move to Los Angeles, California. When I was 18, the Famous Comedy Store gave me a contract at 18.
Are you serious?
Wow.
So I signed it and I couldn't leave. And her name was Missy. She was the owner.
Yeah.
Pauly Short's mother.
Absolutely.
Right.
One that started the a comedy store. So she told me I couldn't leave and I came on back home.
Okay.
But Rap City did more for me than anything. It put me in a presence of all people who love hip hop and comedy. It gave me a brand as being one of the first comedians to ever bring comedy to hip hop.
Absolutely.
Right. But it seems like everybody would want to be in LA. You know what I mean? It's like that's a place. That's where everybody, their dream star. Why not be in LA? Like, what was the deal with you not wanting to stay in LA?
Well, Jamie Foxx tells me that all the time. He says, why don't you move to LA? I said, man, I don't really like LA. If you ever been to LA, LA is just like the movies. Everybody wants to be an actor or actress. Everybody is related to, back in the days that I used to go there, everybody was related to Richard Pryor, everybody was related to Pam Grier.
Okay.
But I think I made the right decision. Are movies any better than they were back then? The only movies that's good is Marvel movies. those Marvel movies, Superman, and they got the
that's
fight.
what I'm saying. Right.
Those are the movies that's basically selling more of anything.
Correct.
Not no love stories, no boys in the hood anymore. So
yeah, the movie's more crash. Okay, so we're gonna backtrack because that was a pressing issue for me because I was like, I followed your career because I saw you on the comedy circuit as far as on the scene, and then you went to Rap City. It was like you were already established, whereas other people, Rap City established them. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So you have to understand that I was the tour host of all the rap shows. Mm-hmm. I was on tour with Run DMC, Raising Hell tour.
Okay.
The Tougher Than Leather tour.
That's crazy.
Goodness gracious.
That's crazy.
I was the host of the Heavy D tour until Trouble T-Roy fell off that ramp.
Right.
I saw everything that happened to him, but I just got tired, I said, comedy and hip hop, but it's time for me to go out and just do my own thing. Now, I didn't never move to LA, but I have no complaints.
I got you. Okay. So we're going to rewind a little bit and we're going to do similar to, the Charlie Rose thing. Okay. We're going to really talk about like, how do you become you? So where are you born and where were you raised? Because, that's the start.
I was born in Greensboro, North Carolina.
Okay, Aggie Pride. What high school you went to? Wait a minute, I gotta ask you that.
I didn't go to school in Greensboro. I was born there.
Okay, you from the mud. All right, I got you.
It was back many, many years ago. So when I learned how to talk, I told my father, "Let's get the hell up out of here."
yeah. Look. Yeah, absolutely.
And, but I'm a Washingtonian forever. DMV.
Oh my God. Okay, it seems like that's a good relationship, but you need to come home. The Aggies, we love you, brother. We love you. But
I come there all the time. I have a cousin who's one of the original members of the group LTD.
Hold on.
Yeah.
We gotta discuss some things, brother. LTD. So wait a minute. So you going to hold up. No, I'm talking about D-Train. Blah, 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 blah. Jeffrey Osborne?
Yes. He actually owns the group now. He actually owns LTD.
All right, now I can't sing word for darn.
Don't do it.
Yeah. But I'm telling you, like when they do, boo to be mine. Listen, I got the album downstairs. Like if I could run and go get you the album. I got the 12. I got the joint. Right. Yeah, real talk facts. All right, so okay, we're gonna discuss that. So you just threw me off, but I'm gonna just take a note.
My father was a school teacher. He taught chemistry, and he was a biologist. He worked at the National Institution of Health. He worked with Dr. Fauci.
Oh wow! Okay. Oh goodness gracious! All right.
And he went to A&T.
Okay. Now we see. Look. Okay, you just overwhelming me right now. Because number one, I'm an Aggie. You know what I mean. But at the same time, I'm an educator as well. That's one of the things I do. However, you went to DMV, and now you were in the DMV, immersed into it. So now, being in the DMV, all right, how were you able to maintain? Because you came up in a time period, because just thinking about the age range, where crack was ground zero in the DMV metro area. Mm-hmm. How were you able to avoid the trappings of all that entailed? Because young black boys, I think during that time period, DC was the murder capital for 10 straight years.
Right. But just because you black don't mean that you have to follow a certain direction.
Okay. Say that. That's bars.
That's what we keep getting confused about. We all different. Let's just say this. We all different. We look different from a lot of other people, and we speak different languages.
Absolutely.
But we still have our own mind to choose what we want to do.
Absolutely.
I know people who used to use heroin, but that's what they want to do.
Okay.
They even called our mayor, Marion Barry, but he was a good mayor.
He was getting right jobs. Absolutely.
So I don't judge people. I judge people how they handle it.
Okay.
Regardless on what you do. If you're a drinker, alcoholic, how do you handle it? Can you work and still exist and do what you need to do to make money?
Okay.
Right.
So now, you know, you're growing up.
I have this saying, if you come to me with low self-esteem, that's the way you leave it, with low self-esteem.
So you're coming with something, you're leaving with it. Okay.
I'll help a person spiritually.
Okay.
I help them find themselves. But this every day, the more you care, the more they're going to still need help.
Absolutely.
They have to realize something within themselves.
Absolutely.
So now that you growing up in DC, what led you to comedy? Because you obviously saying that at 18 you were offered a contract. So
I was. But I was an impressionist.
Okay, got you. Yeah.
I just did all I was doing in Wolfman. All right, this old Wolfman chat. Hey, Howard Cosell. Howard Cosell. And a guy named Marlon Jackson, I used to go over to his house. And we used to sit and talk. And he used to say, man, you need to put some comedy with your impressions. And he started telling me basically how to put stories together of my life. And actually, I'm in his office talking to you.
Okay. That's the one you thought was. All right.
It was the before Marlon Jackson.
Okay, got you.
The one that really put me on track about doing comedy. And I do impressions now because it's my gift. But I love doing some comedy.
Absolutely.
Right.
A lot of impressionists, they can do the voice, but they have no material. And see, after I started doing the Def Jam, the Comic View, I used to put like the one I did on Def Jam about Michael Jackson being locked up in jail.
Yeah.
I was like, and I was saying, if Michael Jackson was locked up, why can't he be locked up with celebrities? And Michael's in the cell prime. And Sidney Poitier looks at him and goes, Michael, stop crying like a bitch. Like I said, well, I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. Nobody in this prison did anything, but we're here, Michael.
So how does that go?
Go ahead.
So how do you form that? Is it just memory? Like what got you to impressions? Like what made you want to do that? Is somebody you saw, or what made you want to go that way? Or even start mimicking people?
It's actually my voice. I can just change my voice.
Okay.
I can change my voice too, but I ain't no impression.
There we go.
I can do the chipmunk. I can do the chipmunk.
My voice. I can actually change my voice. It's not, anybody can't do what I do. They can't be an impressionist, or they can do, like Saturday Night Live. A lot of those impressionists on that show, they can do the facial features and put a wig on, but they don't always sound accurate. It's like when I do Barack Obama, thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. Yesterday was a great day for me.
Wow.
Absolutely. So now when I think about like impressionists, I think of Jamie Foxx, Jay Farrell, and even Ari Spears.
And
so those are,
absolutely.
Absolutely. These are some of the ones that I think of right off. And each, every time, like I was listening to what you were saying, but I think about what they were saying. So like Jamie Foxx recently was like, not recently, but a few years ago, he says about, you have the mannerisms along with the pitch. So, it's like Mike Tyson 20 years ago versus Mike Tyson now is totally different. I was like, he has a point. It's a little bit more subtle.
It's a point that he's saying right now. Because as a fighter, you have to be very, when I come back to fight, I'm coming back to fight. I'm going to be notorious. I'm going to be like a kingpin. I'm coming back as a referee. That's what I'm
okay. So after you do these impressions, have you ever ran into someone you've done an impression on and they might have had some words for you?
No.
Okay, all right. Because one, I know, as your comedy is pretty, clean. And I'm like, okay, that's pretty awesome. And that's one of the things I remember. It's only like young, like besides Bill Cosby and don't I put there, but just yourself and Sinbad were the only ones that I could say right off the top of my head. I was like, oh, they were always clean. They may talk about some material that may not, be adult, but they were clean
Right,
in their,
right.
you know, their profession of comedy with it. But we have to go back. So now you're in DC, now you're getting into comedy. Why didn't you, because you're pretty tall, you know, why didn't you go basketball? Because everybody in DC plays basketball.
Because they thought I had a lucky shot. I didn't, you know, how Patrick Mahomes, how he throws the football.
Yeah.
Unlike they want you to throw it.
Absolutely.
The way I shot the ball, I was like Tim Duncan. I could hit the backboard and the ball would always go into the basket.
Okay.
So, but
okay, he's like he was in the middle of throwing, you stop it. Like, it went in the basket, but
you don't do something you can't do. You don't do things that you can't do. You do things that you can do well.
Yeah, absolutely. Got you.
I don't play chess, but if I did, I would have to be good because somebody will always beat me.
True, because you don't want to get beat.
Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane.
You have to at least be competitive in anything you do.
Okay. And so now, wouldn't your parents, like, during that time period, like, pushing you towards college? Because now, during that time period, you know, you had the Pell Grant that just came out and about. And then on top of that, you know, you was in near the Mecca. Because if you're in DC.
Going to Howard with their drama department when I was 16 years old.
Gotcha.
Okay.
16 at Howard?
16?
They had a group called the Howard Players.
That sounds funny.
Yeah,
what do you mean the players? Like the Howard Players? Like what? Like explain.
They used to have coffee houses, and I used to go over and we used to do skits just like Saturday Night Live.
Gotcha. Were you there? You were there much earlier than Taraji, correct?
I did.
Okay.
I would actually leave high school and go over there. After the summer, they had a summer camp that you could come over. It was called the Children Theater.
Okay.
And then they kind of start telling me to come over after school because of my talent doing impressions. That was the winner.
Okay. And so did you learn method acting as well, or you just said, nah, I'm gonna just stick with the comedy?
I learned some acting. You know, Some people, as I said, some people are good at certain things, and I've always been good at being a host.
I got you. You know,
I know how to host some people up. That's why Rap City, during the time that I was hosting, that's why it was number one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It wasn't just because of Rap City. Now that show may have went off. Don't forget, Yo MTV Raps.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
I want to ask about that.
Barnes had Pump It Up. And
yes, she did. She had a fight too. Yep, got you.
And they were showing videos, and they were just standard hosts. Their shows went off.
Yeah. And
Rap City was still rolling.
Okay. Because Rap City, you know, BET was shooting in DC, so you right at home. In New York, Tri-State area, where I'm originally from, I'm from New Jersey, we had the video box. That was our thing. And I'm glad. Yeah, so I'm glad they did a documentary about it, because it was that was before Rap City as well as Yo MTV Raps. Was there any rivalry between you guys and Dr. Dre? Because you were around there. Well, no, you were Fab Five Freddy era. So was there any animosity between you guys and Fab Five Freddy and Yo MTV Raps?
No, the whole thing is BET saw Yo MTV Raps, and then that's when they started Rap City. But we did more for the urban culture of hip hop artists than what MTV wanted to show.
Okay.
So we got more of the love.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they probably got more viewers because it was more mainstream.
Absolutely.
And more of the urban crowd was over here.
Correct.
When it first came out, they were the beginning.
Yeah. So
adding comedy gave it a whole nother different flavor.
Yeah. So then when I look at, you know, as a fan of the shows, because I love hip hop, and I look and say, okay, I see Video Music Box where Ralph McDaniel's just like a regular dude.
Right.
And he was just asking surface questions. And then Fab Five Freddy, then, you know, Yo MTV Raps, but I'm only seeing the blockbuster, you know, artists. So I'm like, you know, at first they got better over the years, but I was like, man, why they not showing Brand Nubian? You know what I'm saying? Why they ain't doing, you know, Stetson Sonic? you know, like these groups, and then you'll see like, you know, 50 Cent when he start bubbling, and some of these grunts like Souls of Mischief, you'll see him on BET. So that's why I was like, oh, I got, you know, some of the gats that I really enjoy, Tribe Called Quest, you know, and then they get larger and it's like, okay, now we get to go on UMT Raps. So it was like the minor leagues and the major, but I was like, I really enjoyed, you know, the process per se. But now,
what I had to do is, since I traveled with those guys, I knew them personally.
Okay.
Every tour, me, Will Smith, DMC, and Flavor Flav, we used to all hang out after every show.
Okay, wait. You gotta say your group again, because that is a collective group. If you know, like you, Flavor Flav, DMC, and who else?
Will Smith.
And Will Smith. Okay.
We used to always get together after the show. That was our little group. And we used to sit around and talk after every show. And Flavor was a musical genius. He could play the piano just like Beethoven.
Oh, wow.
He was
I know that.
Always talk and laugh and kid around.
Man, just learned something.
I know that's super dope. Do you see the same camaraderie nowadays though? Like, you know, it's like you had more of a relationship, you know, back then. Do you see that, or like nowadays, are you still connecting with those same people, or?
Well, I've been trying to tell my friends it's no longer time out. It's anger management. People don't know how to deal with their own personality. They call them your own demons. They don't know how to let the next man get his shine.
Right, get his shine. Yeah. Sure.
Everybody is. Life doesn't really change. It's gonna rain. The sun gonna shine. Every now and then there's gonna be a hurricane. There's gonna be a tornado. And if you in it,
right. Yeah.
It's either if you're gonna come out of it strong or you're gonna come out it weak. And most of those who are, when there's a hurricane, they tell them to leave. Most people say, I'm gonna sit it out, but they have no other options. And then what happens? So in the industry, they got comedians or rappers or everybody wants to do the same thing. But then they have to have their own mindset. That's really the problem. Everybody wants to be somebody else. Everybody wants to be somebody else. Hollywood and fans are the ones that make you. They can keep throwing you down, or now the studios can do it. They can particularly like you, and they can just put you on everything, and till people just accept it. But it's different than it used to be, you know, because money has become a big issue, and they can say anything in the hip hop record. So I don't really want to talk about what I think about that, but I think we were more willing educationally. It taught us about who we really are. We can talk about slavery, but that really told us that we can do it. In the NBA, baseball, football, the corporate world, we are very strong-minded people, but just because we look different don't mean that we are different. We need everybody. When I wake up in the morning, I want to go to a grocery store that's open, not closed.
Absolutely.
We have to adapt habits so we don't have to complain that someone took something. So that's what I do each and every day. You ain't the first that asks me. I go to a little bar here and they ask me every day, you should blow up. You should be this. You should be that.
Right.
I say all because I come down here and want to drink a mimosa. It's crazy. But I deal with it.
Get it. Yeah.
I deal with it. This is me. This is what I'm going to do anyway.
Right.
But I'm happy with myself.
That's the most important. That's definitely the most important. So now, you know, you're in DC. You're open up for these shows. I'm trying to remember. Are you the one that was in the Will Smith video?
No, I was in the Public Enemy video.
The Public Enemy, okay. Night of the
Living Baseheads.
Okay, there we go. Because I was like,
wow.
because I was just like, wait a minute. And I remember it was like, like a little segment, and it was like, okay. And I remember it. I was like, wait a minute, he was in one of these videos back during that time.
It was the first long-length rap video.
Right. That was?
After Michael Jackson did Thriller.
Yeah, because it was like a nice little minute, because it was like a prison break and then all the other stuff. Yeah, it was pretty like a 7-minute video.
I'm telling you something. Wow. That video got to be 30 years old, and I still hear people talk about it.
Yeah.
Just a little part that I did with the multiple personalities I was going through about Lucy's wash pot.
Yeah.
And cooking pot.
You was up there interviewing.
Well, I took advantage of my moment.
Absolutely.
Right.
It was super awesome. But you said something earlier, and I wanted to touch on it because it's right in the vein right now. Now, touring with some of these earlier acts that are legendary, and you're a legend in itself. Right. But you were there when Trouble T. Roy passed and he jumped off the stage?
Yes, they were playing this game, Will and...
Will Smith was there too?
Yeah, Will, Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. It was a tour, Tupac, Digital Underground. They was playing this game. They was throwing this ball, and whoever dropped the ball when they threw it, they would punch on him. So Trouble T. Roy, he had stopped playing. I don't know if the Market Square Arena, they have a ramp. They have a ramp that just goes up so they can unload sound equipment or whatever they do. That's where the Pacers played at too. Okay. So he sat up on the ramp, and one of the managers pushed the trash can down the ramp with the wheels on it, and it turned towards him like a episode or scene out of Final Destination. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Turned towards him, and he lifted his leg up so he could go by. Yeah. He had no back support. And he fell over. He fell a long way. He fell as high as a traffic light. Oh, wow. We were on top of the traffic light. Yeah. We looked over, everybody ran, and we looked over.
Oh, wow.
We saw him trying to get up, and he collapsed. And so everybody's at the hospital, and we looking at him. His eyes is wide open, and he had cracked his skull. So.
Gotcha. So I didn't realize
the tour, and I think that really why Heavy D passed away. During that time at the hospital, that's all he was kept saying is, "What am I going to tell this kid's
parents?"
Yeah. That's all he kept saying. So I think that he felt responsible, but it wasn't his fault.
Yeah, I mean, he lived a little bit longer though.
All he did, somebody just acting silly. I'm sure they didn't think that it was gonna roll towards him in turn.
Correct.
But it did.
Absolutely. And it's like something careless, and then at the same time, it's like, man, just put your head and stop it. You know, they like a little garbage can with the wheels.
We didn't know. We didn't know.
I know.
Do that.
Absolutely.
I didn't know. I watched the whole thing as it happened.
Yeah, that's tough. And then you being on a tour and acting, bringing levity to the show, because I would assume, you're the opener and getting the crowd hyped up and ready.
Oh, bro, that was my job in front of 35,000 people.
Goodness gracious.
Almost every night. It was my job to keep them entertained.
Okay.
A lot. I'm gonna tell you a story. Me, MC Hammer, the group Guy.
I remember.
Ready for the World. We did a show at.
All the dark skin brothers. Y'all had a dark skin brother tour. I hear you, brother. Yo, you think I ain't see that? Mm-hmm.
So we were in the Universal Amphitheater in California.
Okay.
And they have a policy that if no one sent any paperwork in, they can't perform. So I guess the manager of Guy, that's the one that asked me to go on tour. They were the headliners. And what happened was they said I couldn't perform that day. So then they had a big fight in the auditorium.
You mean Teddy Riley and
no,
God?
Just the people.
The audience.
Wow, the audience.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the lady comes back and she said, "Where the comedian?" I said, "I'm here." She was like, you gotta go out there and stop them from fighting. I said, "Well, what am I gonna do?" He said, "You gotta go say something."
Make them laugh.
I walk out on stage and I grabbed the mic and I said, "Excuse the language, who's the bitch in the back with the titties hanging out?"
Everybody stop.
Everybody stop.
That'll make you turn around a little.
How powerful a tit is.
That's how powerful.
They stopped. And I was everybody's friend. Magic Johnson, Prince, James Ingram, everybody ran up to me and said, "What made you say that?"
Correct.
I know.
Absolutely.
Where'd you pull that from?
Absolutely.
I really don't know. I just said,
what will get my attention? He's like, what would I
stop fighting?
Yeah.
Stop fighting.
That ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
Somebody gonna look for the tip. That's hilarious.
Yeah, we're gonna definitely look for the tip. So now you're opening for these acts, and at the same time, I think of the only comedian, because being in college in the early '90s and seeing certain comedians come. It was yourself, Ricky. What's the one he passed away? Not Smiley. The one that passed away. He was in Snoop Dogg video. Ricky Harris. Yeah.
Yeah, we used to be on tour together. Me, him, Chris Tucker, Michael Collier.
Yeah. Michael Collier was another one, and Bernie Mac.
Together.
Excuse me.
We used to be on the Def Jam tour.
Oh wow! But I wanted to ask you about what's the gentleman? TK Kirkland. Because it was like you guys were doing similar things. It was like, okay, he was doing the gangster thing. And then like listening to the acts you were talking about, that was more or less pro-black, positive, because you said Run DMC, Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, Public Enemy. And then, listening to what he said he was on, like NWA,
I was the first one. Yeah. Unless they were doing a West Coast.
Yeah.
But I was the first. Now they may have come along later on.
They did.
And did the tour. But I was the official host of all Def Jam tours. Now he might have been Suge Knight. Now Suge Knight might have hired him.
Correct.
Far as I know, for the 5 years and with Public Enemy, I was the host of all of those tours.
Absolutely, because when I was a young lad, I actually saw you host one of those. It was the Fresh Fest in New York.
Host any of them?
No, I didn't. Fresh Fest. Okay. When I was younger, I seen you at the Fresh Fest.
Right.
And I was in New York, and it was just like, Run DMC was the headliner, but they had LL, EPMD, everybody and their mom was there, but nobody was bigger than Run DMC. Right. And I remember you coming out, sitting there like. So later on, when I said, I was like, and then followed it and said, okay, throughout the 80s. But me, I was always, cognizant of like, oh, I seen him when I was this year, and he was at the tour and blah, blah, blah. And now keep on following and say, oh, yeah, he's on this. And then now he's on Rap City. Right. So I can kind of see it. But most people don't know because, you still look young. I know that's the guy be that mambo sauce.
Yeah, that's fact.
That mambo sauce.
Black don't crack, but it will mold on your ass.
It'll mold. Oh, yeah, it'll mold, but, black don't crack. Yeah, absolutely. So I'm sitting there like, I remember you from several things and, always big fan. So now you're on tour. Right. You're getting a name for yourself. And on top of that, how does BT approach you? Like all these other probably endeavors, like, yo, you're making money on the road. You don't never have to come home, technically.
Well, it wasn't Rap City that's when I started on BET. I started on BET on a game show.
What was that?
Right.
Oh, Tell Me Something Good. That was back in 1987. I was on the game show. It was called Tell Me Something Good.
I seen it on a video with
And I was very popular on the show. I got most of the fan mail.
Okay.
Show. So then Bob Johnson, he started taking me places. Everywhere they would go, they wanted me to be the comedian.
The host.
Go on a cruise, he would take me. And they used to hang out, him, Butch Lewis, the boxing promoter.
Boxing promoter, yeah. Him and Don King, got you.
And Eddie Levert.
Eddie Levert, the OJs. Okay, I got you. All right. So me
and Donnie Simpson. So me and Donnie used to travel. They was all buddies. So they was much older than I was at the time. So
okay, that's awesome. Now tell me about what happened afterwards, because you saying that now it leads me to I think they try to remake that show because Hits came later. The guy that played in the movie Glory Road.
Right. Well, they were trying to find an answer to me.
My show
was the highest rated show.
Absolutely. It was over Donnie Simpson's show. I thought that was the show.
His show was, but my show started. You can tell when they start taking producers from other shows.
And put it to the number one show.
Put them onto other shows, and they think it was the producer. But Donnie don't sing, just good looking guy.
Yeah. Oh, he had all the pretty women.
Eyes.
Yeah, he had green eyes. Yeah.
But I had comedy, so people would go home to see what I was going to do.
Absolutely.
I would play like I'm a secret agent. I would play like I'm a Domino pizza delivery man. So adding a little bit more of comedy and something else other than playing video that you're going to play every day until it fell off the chart.
Gotcha. Right.
So I told Will Smith came on the show, and he actually told them to stop trying to write on the teleprompter. Gotcha. Stop trying to write hip hop. I already know hip hop. And that's when they actually opened the door and said, Chris, what do you want to do?
That's good.
I said, I don't want to sit in the studio no more.
Okay. Did you write your own jokes and all of that too? Did you write your stuff, or did you have a writer?
No, we set up everything right then and there. They said, what do you want to do? And it took me a couple minutes to say, I think this will be funny. LL tells me all the time about, I had just brought a Maserati.
Oh God, 2-door, 4-door. Which one?
Two-door.
Oh,
it was Gran Turismo that was made by the Chrysler Lee Iacocca made a special edition, and I purchased that car. So what I did was LL came to the show, and I played like I was gonna put new speakers in his car, like I was gonna put the booming system.
Yeah.
So I told him to drive the Maserati. He drove it into the garage. And I'm here, got wires. So when he left, wires sticking out the car. And he was like, I don't hear nothing booming. I said, well, I do. And, every time I see him, he always talks about that.
So you were the first pranks, then technically.
If you can say that.
Yeah, because that's like, let me put that out there. That's like at least 2 decades prior.
Right. A lot of things, and I guess this is what creative people, what you think. That's how Hollywood. That's why those individuals that started Hollywood, or you have to take your hat off to them, because who knew that you could put on film and make a life story of someone, even what you're doing right now. It's big business. It's big business in podcasts. I mean, it actually was about to take regular radio out. Then they came up with Sirius and XM and
right.
Absolutely.
But people want to hear people talk. Absolutely. And that's what they're interested in. When the Housewives of Atlanta, you didn't think people would be concerned about how other people, but they do.
That's true.
Yeah, they actually got a show on right now. I don't know if you have it. It's on, I think it's on Netflix, and they were talking about that before, about people more concerned about how it used to be when you were a celebrity. You didn't want people to know about you.
Exactly.
But then there became the culture where I want to see what your house look like. I want to see what your car look like. So it's a whole series now. I mean, it's on Netflix about those young teenagers that was going through Hollywood robbing celebrities, and they were doing it because they would be posting like, "Hey, I'm Paris Hilton. I'm going to be here," and she got robbed 3-4 times, and they put it out there. So it did go from it being a secret, you know, a celebrity, and so now I'm going to show you everything that I got. You know, and they were getting robbed. It's a whole show on right now. It's crazy.
I'm going to be on tour.
Turned it into a movie.
Right. Yeah.
That's what they did. They were, exactly.
I'm going to be on tour one day. All right, you won't be home. I'm good.
I'm leaving my lady home butt naked.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That'll be exactly what you
people there. What's the address? What's the address?
They did, and they were getting stuff from other social media places like TMZ and things like that. They were telling so much information, and they knew where to go. They just Google it, see where you live, found a way, and go rob you. It was crazy.
Exactly.
Yeah, they were talking about that.
It hasn't changed. It hasn't changed.
Jay, that sounds so awesome, but why does it seem like the black celebrities, they got to kill them? Like they'll rob Harris and say, "I took the dress," and then they were posting their stuff, and then people were buying it from them. And I was like, God. But
they really were.
Why do we gotta say, "All right, Pop Smoke, you gotta die"? Like, what the hell?
Well, remember as black people, through all the things that we went through, we were the ones that said that we weren't gonna let our kids go through the things that they went through.
Yeah.
So somewhere along the line.
Those are all white kids though who did that.
Well,
we're all white.
I understand a white kid, when they do something, they kind of pretty much gonna leave a storyline behind it on why they did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talking about us as a race, since we identify and always saying what we achieved.
Mm-hmm.
There's really no reason for it, but we did promise that we'll never let our kids go through the things that history didn't allow us to do.
Absolutely.
So now look where we at.
Yeah. I think that's kind of backwards now. It's like maybe we needed to go through that so we won't be acting the way we act now.
We did go through it.
Yeah.
We went through this while we are here, but how much talking are we going until we react, and we have to do something.
I think it's much perverse than that, where, you know, the drugs got harder, you know, and then the drugs are messing with the mental and it's going generational. So whereas, okay, a mother or father could actually do this drug, have a child, and now the child is a little bit, you know, mentally incapacitated to a sense.
That's another thing that Marlon said to me one day. He said, everybody is not wired right.
Correct.
And I never understood that until I be around some people and they can be calm 1 minute and be irate the next.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They're not wired right.
Absolutely.
Right.
So we got to find a way to connect. 14, 12 years old children should now be thinking about losing their life. But they haven't lived none.
Correct.
Don't forget.
Right.
Somebody's raising them, feeding them. So it's all about TV, you know, even though I like shows like Family Guy and American Dad, them shows are really, they had a show on First 48. And this guy went out and killed someone and said that he saw an episode of Family Guy and that made him snap.
Okay, so can you, this brings me back to this though, for like, you know, hip hop. So how do you think that's affected, you know, our culture with a lot of things that the hip hop and the rap, you know, artists portray? How do you think that's, you know, affected us from then, you know, until now?
It's all they understand. When I go on stage, I can talk about something like we talking about. Mm-hmm. So when I start talking sex, everybody will be quiet. So it's kind of like a mindset on what you understand. It's called education. Mm-hmm. Because funny is funny. Everything about sex ain't always funny. It's something you do. It's just something you do. So it's hard to really even say that when first of all, you laying down with someone at 2 o'clock in the morning, you're drunk, must have make a baby. I got 4 kids by 4 different women, so let me put that out.
Oh God, we gotta talk about it.
Long as you're taken care of.
That's all that matters.
They grown now, but
sure.
I was in that, but I prayed to God that none of my kids got in trouble, and they did. That's all you can ever, when they get to a certain age, right. Nothing you can say anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Not too much.
Okay. So now,
but guess what? If they respect you, I always tell my kids, don't disrespect me. And guess what? They have it.
And that's awesome. So now you're on tour, and I assume now, because you have 4 children, right. 4 baby mom, are the kids are in the same time span, or you spaced them out?
Well, 2 was kind of came along the same time, and 1 is 10 years older, and the other is around 7, 8 years older.
Okay.
Younger.
All right.
Are they into comedy and things like you into that you were into music?
One said they want to be a comedian. Now my son, he wants to take he went to broadcasting school.
Okay. What school do you go to?
He goes to Appalachian State.
Oh, I didn't go to Aggie. Man. You should have sent him to Aggie. You should have made him Aggie.
Well, he did go up to A&T.
Okay.
And it depends on what school he went to. He went to the school up in Cornelius.
I know. I got you.
So they didn't have a lot of us. So
that's where they stayed.
That's who he got along with, and that's where he went.
Right.
Understandable. Are there, do you have any regrets as far as being a parent and have to be on the road a lot?
You got to understand about being a parent. It's different when you lay down. You have to make sure if you don't want a child, it is your fault. If you lay down, you are the one that did it.
Yeah.
He didn't do it. I did it.
Right.
I had 3 plans. I was going to get up. When the feeling of the Twinkie was going to come out. I should have not did it. I should have put protection on.
Absolutely.
The feeling of the Twinkie.
Feeling of the Twinkie. I put that in my lexicon.
I was going to pull out.
Oh, you got a weak pull-out game. The man got the weakest pull-out game ever.
Why could she wiggled. And that's when I said, uh-oh.
Keep it up.
Well, it takes
absolutely.
It takes love, and I gotta admit, my kids love me, and I didn't spend a lot of time for the simple reason is I am self-employed, and during that time, you have to deal with not your baby, you got to deal with mamas.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What her plot is.
Oh wow. Hold up. You said what her plot is. Let's clean that up.
We're gonna move.
You ain't trying to insinuate they was trying to trap you, are you?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay, let's just make sure we're clear.
As I said, I should have got up or not did it.
Okay.
Right.
I laid down.
Okay.
They're beautiful ladies and they're good moms.
Awesome.
That's all.
Shout out to the mom.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
All right. So growing up, I got some. I want to talk about DMV, and I know we're getting through this thing, but growing up in DC, there's a culture there, and go-go music is there.
Right.
What about that time can you relate to? Like, how does that go together with music and comedy, but specifically go-go for the DC area? Why is it kind of just contained in that area? And I'm not from DC, but I don't know anybody else that really listens to go-go music, but people from the DMV.
Because the artist never really took the time to go out, and by the time Chuck Brown went out and started traveling, he was old. Now, people don't know this, but I did a record with the group EU, the one that did the record, The Butt.
Experience Unlimited.
I did a record with them called Somebody's Ringing That Doorbell.
Oh,
and
never knew that.
I'm the celebrity. So Sugar Bear's having a party, and the group is going, somebody's ringing that doorbell, y'all. Dun-dun-dun-dun. Let them in. Hey, Sugar Ray Leonard, you're at the party. I'm like, this is Sugar Ray. Look.
Okay.
So check it out. It's called Somebody's Ringing That Doorbell.
I'm gonna check
I
it
did
out.
a record too. I did a record called
Whoa,
Celebrity.
whoa! You got a record? Wait.
A rap record out called Celebrity Funk.
Celebrity Funk. Okay, because you've been around some groups now. I gotta hear this now.
Yeah.
Celebrity Funk.
Now, y'all, producer, director, technical director, won't you get on down with Celebrity Funk? I'm Howard Cosell. I talk so bright. If you heard what I said, then yell all right. Remarkable, sensational, gratifying, except in 9. We have a lot of superstar guests, but first of all, here's the boxing best. He has the fastest hands. I'm sure you'll agree. Everyone calls him Muhammad Ali. Oh, Muhammad Ali, I'm Vicious Lee.
Oh.
So
He
wait a
did
minute.
all the impressions.
Okay, wait a minute. Are you the rapping dude? Because I heard it. The rapping dude.
I don't do that.
Like I was like, I hear that. I hear it when you were saying that. I'm like, yo. Okay.
I was doing Tattoo, from Fantasy Island.
Yeah. The plane. They rebooting it. They rebooting the Fantasy Island now. Do you do voiceovers also?
Yeah, they're messing it up. That's what they're doing.
Oh, voiceovers.
Yeah, you said they're messing up
Messing up all the
He
old
said they
stuff.
messing up.
Oh man, yeah. Fantasy Island, the Love Boat.
That was a dope record.
Yeah, they got a black woman. She gonna be.
Got a new Love Boat coming.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. Love Boat.
Yeah.
Hey, they also
like-
got the new Rap City coming out too.
Oh yeah, reboot.
So
Yeah,
what
what do you
about
think?
the relaunch of Rap City with Tigger? They just did that on the Hip Hop Awards. What's your take on that?
Well, if people didn't have phones and could look up a song, I would say that he's probably going to be successful. But what took the show off the air the first time? Because what are they going to run home to see? Something that they can watch on their phones? What is the interview going to be when they're going to do 1,000 interviews anyway?
Gotcha.
It's all the same.
Captivating.
So they have to do something different in order to. I mean, you got to be next level with it. I mean, he just still had the booth. He was in the booth and they was rapping in the booth and all that. But
okay, old story. Now, what I did on Rap City could always be because people would have another alternative other than looking at the hip hop. You're talking about making it like a Saturday Night Live along with rap videos.
right.
But too much of everything is not good.
Right,
You don't want people to get tired of you, You don't want people to get tired of you, and you want people to appreciate what you're doing and wonder what you're doing.
Absolutely. Did you get any?
Michael Jackson didn't get in trouble till he started trying to be out with everybody. He was cool, just laying up in Neverland. As soon as he come out and try to mingle with people, here it goes.
Yeah, but did you catch any flack for when you did go out and for Rap City, where people said, look, you're trying to be like Ralph McDaniels, because they make mention of it. They didn't say you in particular, but it was saying during the documentary of the Video Music Box that people started mimicking what they were doing. And that's what I wanted. Like, did you catch any flack from that? No,
because I'm getting, I get more appreciation for bringing comedy to hip hop.
Okay.
I mean, at the end of the day, those, the hip hop artists are regular people.
Absolutely.
They're regular people just rapping about their lives so that we can talk. I can talk to you about my life.
Absolutely.
So what I added was something was needed, because I wasn't going to sit there behind no teleprompter and know every day, pitch into a video that was going to be played the next day, have a guest on, asking them, so what kind of ice cream do you like? Or how do you start?
Yeah.
After a while it is, let's find these guys, let's go-kart riding. Let's do something.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
But right now with social media and all of that, they already gonna see it.
Yeah, you were punked and rap. That was the niche. Because if you put in speakers, so you put punk, which they came up 20 years later, and you was the originator, and it was punk and Rap City, you know, mixed into one. So it's awesome.
The pandemic exposed too much. When people would come out, they had a chance to evaluate Facebook.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
See every video that Kevin did or me.
Correct.
So now our material is not relevant anymore because everybody done seen it. Because somebody done went out and put it on their Facebook,
TikTok or Facebook,
or YouTube channel when they weren't supposed to. There's 300.
Do you get paid for that?
No. You get exposure.
If somebody does that, and I know it's exposure, but do they have to pay you if they take your content from a video or a concert or something?
No, they don't.
Oh, wow.
Now you can ask them to take it down, but when the last time you called YouTube and somebody answered the phone?
Right. Well, hold on. How your lawyer call? I think they're gonna put them through. How your lawyer call?
People,
that is crazy.
When they took Kanye off, then you know something is deep.
Yeah. Facts. He talking some crazy stuff. But I want to ask this question. How
crazy is it, though? How crazy is it? He's a person.
He is.
I love Kanye.
Now you don't love him.
I love Kanye.
No, I don't.
I do. I'm just saying a little, but he's Kanye. Can't nobody do it like Kanye do.
He's a panderer. He's a panderer. And, as soon as he said slavery's a choice, I was looking at him like, okay, you wildin'. And then he put on the MAGA hat. I was like, okay. All I want to hear is music from you. that was it. I was like, all I want to do, because right now you did two things. I'm just like, the first one, I was like, all right, maybe that was a mistake. It might have been high. And then it was like, okay, now I'm gonna put this hat on and I'm going to infuriate some people that really supported me in the beginning. And it's like, all right, I see where you at.
But you know what? The mainstream audience buys his records out straight. I don't know if I can say this. Bootlegging, we lose out on a lot of our achievements and the money we're supposed to get because we bootleg.
Facts.
Mm-hmm.
If we don't bootleg at 10 million copies, he doesn't get credit for it. Most of the I don't know how to say it because I don't code, because I know through television and everything that a lot of the old groups are supported by white audiences. If you watch PBS, that's all you see in the audience. And thank God that somebody loves the music. You don't have to have a new song out to come and see. Other than Frankie Beverly and Maze.
Right.
Frankie Beverly and Maze, they don't need nothing new. But,
no.
But love to all my people, because I'm in the struggle with you, and I'm gonna be there.
Absolutely. So, what do you think about? How do you feel about the race? Red Grant running for.
I was gonna bring
I think it's mayor.
Running for mayor. He's been telling me. He calls me and asks me. I haven't been able to make it to some of his fundraisers, and he just had a ball. He just had a ball. Mm-hmm. His chances. Being that I live in Washington, but I live on the outskirts. I live in Bowie, Maryland.
Okay. All right. Mm-hmm. Bowie State. Go Bowie State. Gotcha.
I really can't say what his chances are, but he has to keep on trying. He has to. First of all, he's a comedian.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Politically, you have to have the money. And when they don't interview you or give you a chance to speak, they don't have, they kind of dictate what your chances are.
Absolutely.
But I'm glad that he even attempted to do it. He will go down as one of the only comedians I know that ran for mayor.
He did.
Absolutely.
He's been campaigning and doing a lot of things and getting sponsors and donations and things like that. So
yeah. And I wanted to hear from your perspective because you lived there for most of your life, and he's from DC as well. So in that time period, they always mention like, you know, red, earthquake. And sometimes I hear somebody say, you know what I'm saying, the mayor, Chris, you know what I'm saying, Chris Thompson.
You know,
I'm like,
they're on a whole, they're not on another level.
It was just you're before them.
Right. But what you don't understand is I'm not arrogant. They're not arrogant. I'm just not doing the things that I'll wait till my time. You know, everybody got their time. I have my time to shine. No need in me. Mm-hmm. You fit in, you get in where you fit in. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Well, you make your own space.
You make your own space. And you got your people, and it'll happen. You know, during the COVID, a lot of things happened for me. And it's like the piece that David Chappelle talked about me. I don't know if I'm the guy who introduced David Chappelle on stage when he was 14.
Oh, wow.
I'm the one that said his name wrong, that he said that. Yeah, he was a young man, 14 years old. You never know, he might be our next biggest star.
Absolutely.
David Chappelle. So he was on the Sway Morning Show, and he was talking about Chris Rock was saying that he would hate to follow David Chappelle. So David Chappelle remembered many years ago when he was young that he had to follow me. And he was saying that the MC said, Dave, you can go home if you want to. And a lot of people made a lot of big deal, and they thought that maybe they needed Dave to say something about them because, you know, Dave he's in a position, but you still got to perform regardless.
Yes.
He can endorse you all he wants, but you still at the end, you got to stand in front of that crowd and do your thing.
Absolutely. How about this? You think you guys could do a DC Kings of Comedy? Because you guys have a large staple of comedians that comes from that area. That's top notch. What is it? Martin Lawrence, Dave Chappelle, yourself, Earthquake, Red Grant. I'm like, I forget the girl's name. She's kind of heavy skate.
Tommy Davidson.
Tommy Davidson.
Yeah.
Also, Wanda Sykes.
I didn't know she was. What's the other girl? She young. She played in the movie. She always used the cornbread. I love her DC accent. She has a strong DC, like a Southeast DC.
Okay.
Oh, I forget her name. I gotta get her name. She got a few movies.
You gotta understand when you do that, like when I hosted the Kings of Comedy. When I hosted.
Hold on, wait a minute. You said you hosted Kings of Comedy?
Yeah, I was the first host.
Yeah, in Greensboro?
I was in Greensboro. We was in Field. We was at Radio City Music Hall.
Absolutely. Wow. I remember that.
Yeah, I was the host before they did the movie.
Correct. Because they did the movie in Charlotte, but the pre-win was Greensboro. Yeah,
they did a movie around 2 years later.
Yeah.
You know, you've done so many things and you've along so many people. Like, where's the books? Where's the movie? Have you thought about writing your own book or some kind of? You've been around a lot of people and a lot of things.
I have a lot of things to say, but it's really not helping or just to have a story about what somebody else did. We just talk about what's going on in the world today with our young people. What is that really gonna accomplish about? We need to get our faith together and realize that we have a life here on this earth that we need to fulfill first.
Okay.
Don't worry about how somebody else made it to the top, because it's easy now. You can go online and get you 1 million followers or 2 million and you got money. So we need to find out why people are afraid to go outside at night, why they go to work and go home and lock the doors.
Dig it.
Okay.
You know, so I'm gonna hang out because I have faith.
Okay.
And basically it's how you talk to people too. Some people have bad days. Do people ever just say hello? Some people, you say hello, they got an attitude. Sometimes you gotta be persistent with how is your day? That ladies love to hear how was your day. That means a lot to them. How was your day today?
How was your day, baby? So now we have this segment where I ask you a few questions. You can say one or the other, or you say both, or neither. Okay.
Right.
So I'm gonna just give you two names of how you feel. You say one or the other, or you say both or neither. It's up to you.
Right.
All right. So Michael Jackson, Prince.
Both.
Okay. Bernie Mac, Robin Harris.
Ooh.
Both.
Both.
Okay.
And let me tell you why. Why. Because I work with both of them.
Work with both of them.
Yeah, me and Robin Harris did the first comedy special on BET before Comicville.
Facts.
It's called the BET Comedy Special. Me, him, Mara J, and Ronaldo.
Wow.
And who's the last one?
And Ronaldo
Ray.
Ronaldo Ray.
Right.
Absolutely.
Wow. So many.
Absolutely.
That's crazy.
The next one would be, hold up, let me mess with you. LTD or the OJs?
OJs.
Okay. Right.
Oh.
Okay, wait. Aaron Hall or R. Kelly?
R. Kelly.
Whoa, he's going to stop. I didn't think you was doing that. All right, go. All right.
Condemning him on what he did. But
yeah, I know. No, we ain't talking about it.
Right.
Yeah, I got you. And we're going to switch your gears up. Michael Jordan or LeBron?
Both.
Okay. All right. Look. Let's see what he do. Sugar Ray Leonard or Marvelous Marvin Hagler?
Sugar Ray Leonard, of course.
Love it.
Okay, look. Now we gonna get our DC one. All right.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. What's this? Backyard Band or Junkyard Band? Junkyard.
Or both. I'm gonna say both.
I thought you was gonna say
Rare Acid. Okay. All right.
I didn't know that's what I thought you were saying. Do I choose one or the other, or I can?
Yeah, you could do one or the other,
or both, right?
Or both. Yeah. You said both several times.
Yeah.
Okay, mambo sauce or hot sauce?
Mambo sauce.
Okay.
Barbecue.
All right. Look. Gray sweatpants or Levi jeans?
Depends on if they baggy or not.
You trying to show off? You trying to show off?
I gotta be big. I'm a slim guy, so it is.
I thought you wanted them tight. You trying to show off out here?
I don't like them tight. No.
Okay. Okay. All right. You know, in DC, that's the uniform. Then watch this. You wearing Air Force Ones or New Balance?
Air Force Ones.
Wow. Oh, that's big. All right. Okay. I got one more. Just one more. All right. Okay. Let's do the morning show. Russ Parr, okay, or the Live Squad?
Being that I don't basically listen in the morning because I used to be asleep, I'm gonna say but.
Okay, all right. Yeah. I was giving you some DC folks this morning.
My buddy on there, Huggy Lowdown, is on the show.
Oh, Huggy Lowdown. Yeah. You know, Huggy, I thought he was going to actually have his own show because he's been doing a spinoff for 20 years.
Exactly.
I thought he was just going to say, all right, I'm got my own show, not my second, because I'm like, Huggy was doing it when I was in college. I'm like, all right, Huggy. You know, I always couldn't wait for his segment.
Yes.
But, you know, before we go, is there anything that you'd like to say we didn't address or anything that you want our audience to know? Some of the things that you're doing now, some up and coming events that we can see you at?
Well, I'm on radio now down in Charlottesville, Virginia. That's the city of UVA.
Right.
And it's a morning hip hop show. It's called, let me make sure because I just started today.
Oh, wow. Started right there.
Today. KROSS BARZ first day. We got him on
we got him.
KROSS BARZ history here. Come on.
It's an AM Rush morning show.
AM Rush morning show.
And it comes on 101.3 jams.
Say that one more time.
They say on if you live in that area, you know what I'm talking about. But if you go to the website, it's 101jams.com.
101jams.com.
It's JAMZ.
JAMZ. Okay. Do you have Instagram, Facebook, where people could, check you out?
It's Chris Thomas the Mayor. Chris the Mayor Thomas.
Chris the Mayor Thomas.
And on my YouTube, not on YouTube, Facebook, if they want to, I'm kissing Donna Ross. So this show, kissing Donna Ross. I'm there, I do kissing Donna Ross, and she's smiling. She's like, "Do you love me?"
All right now. All right. Okay.
Yep. All right.
Wait a minute. Okay. I got one more question because you're from DC. Okay. What in the hell's going on in DC? That all them jet beauties is around. What the hell's going on? Growing up, all them jet beauties are down there. It seemed like it was in Suitland, Maryland, Silver Springs, Maryland, Alexandria, Virginia. And I was like, what the hell's going on there? All my life, I was like, why is it just around there most of the time?
With the ladies?
Yeah, the jet beauties. If you ever go, I used to collect them, Yeah.
But I mean, they everywhere now. DC is no longer Chocolate City. So
it ain't?
No, it's not.
Oh, I'm so disappointed.
It's gentrified. It's gentrified.
Right.
Oh, that's
it's
not
gentrified.
Chocolate City anymore, so.
Well, that's great.
All right.
Got to keep those old jet booty pics up. I said jet booty.
Yeah, jet booty? I was like, they was tastefully done.
All right. Well, Mr. Thomas, I wanted to say thank you so much for being on KROSS BARZ. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank
for
you.
Blessing us on the show. Really, really just thank you for just coming on here and talking to us. Can you get one impression before we go? Can we get one more?
Okay. Jesse Jackson.
Jazzy Jeff.
Moments of joy, prosperity. Bernie Sanders, first, let me say that today, if America is to be better, we're not talking about a yabba dabba do moment.
Thank you so much. I am Tanae signing off with Big Oh, KROSS BARZ, KROSS BARZ. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much again. Have a blessed evening. Peace.